Okay, we've made it to the portal this time. You don't want to know how many tries that took. Shout out to, I believe it's the TheBlackSensei for giving me the realm request, asking if I could take a shot at the desert realm, because it's one they wanted to see. And as you will notice, this update has been updated quite a bit. Looks quite nice now. There's a little more stuff to look at, a few more markers, because that's one thing this realm is about, is the landmarks. Like, they tell you which way to go, and it's good to see a few more of these landmarks around and a few more tracks sticking out of the ground. Oh, now I'm not just here to show off a realm that I've already beaten multiple times. I'm here to try and make a good time on it. It doesn't currently have an accelerator. Jesus, this is a sensitive car, but it's fast, so I'm using it because it's fast. Now this one doesn't have an accelerator on it, but when it does, currently the time is set for about 6 minutes. So I want to see if I can beat it in 6 minutes, or maybe even a 5:30 if we're lucky. The only downside is this thing is just very difficult to control. But look at that, it's just cruising at 540. What is this? It's no nitrox, 540 kph. I'm actually going to take that corner a little wider, just because I know there's a hill there and I don't want to hit it. That's really disappointing, but it does happen. It's a very sensitive car, but it is so fast. I don't know if this is for sure the fastest car in the game, but it's definitely up there. And because of that, I feel like this is probably the most likely car to beat records. As long as someone can tame the beast, it is actually quite a difficult car to keep control of because of its insane speed. And the slightest bump, it's also very light, so the slightest bump does really throw it as well. I wonder what the Accelerons wanted happening with that part of track. So with Desert Realm, the track is merely a guideline. Driving on the track is probably one of the worst ideas because you actually will just come off from hitting it, and it's a bump. It's an unnecessary bump on an otherwise relatively smooth track. Seriously, why is this thing so fast? It just gains speed. It doesn't care where it is. It's just the speed is just going up. This thing can cruise at over 500, but the speedo stops at 480. You gotta slow down here just because that little offcut on the left, that little bump there will just ruin your day. Never take jump rock. As much as I love jump rock, it's just a bad idea. Alright, now let's see if we can get past here without the error that I just made. Ooh, nearly did it again. This thing turns very sharply. Now you don't want to take the inside of this piece of track, you want to take the outside. You can take the inside on this rock though. And you want to go a little wide here because the track does get a bit tighter. Just there. Here we've got a lot of space here. It's very hard to fall off in this section. Up here there is a rock to the left. You are supposed to go between them, but if you're feeling brave, you can take this outside here. As long as you don't hit the rock and as long as you hug it tightly, you'll be right. got to be careful catching air on that jump, and then you come up here and you've got a bit of a sharp turn. It's very easy to get your wheels off the ground and roll here, so don't go too fast, especially if you're in this absolute beast of a speed machine that just chills at 540 plus. Like, what's the point in nitroxing here? Oh, nitrox has got me a bit phasey there. So obviously at this track you don't want to be doing over 550 because that can cause phasing going straight. Just started going through the ground a bit there. That was quite terrifying. I'd hate for that to have killed my run. You want to be careful here coming up to sweep a rock because you can easily get a bit of air and lose it here. Alright, and then we just want to find that rock there. We're set now. We don't want to go too fast here because, as I said, this thing just tried to phase a moment ago. Oh, we're having a bit of trouble keeping it straight. So I think a 5:30 is quite possible on this one. 6 minutes is not a problem. The question is, can I do it in 5 minutes? I think it's going to be close because I don't want to hit this with too much speed, but I think I've got it. 5:45.77. That's a new personal best for this track in this version. However, the previous best time that I had was a 4:01. That was without the spawn taking 30 seconds. So obviously I could probably do better. I didn't use my full 1000 nitrox, whereas in the other ones I have, using RDO5. So we'll see how we go. But yeah, thanks for watching. It was a pretty clean run. The hardest part was actually just timing my launch into the realm because I missed that a few times. I'll just cut those out. I think there was 4 or 5 misses at the start, and then that one failure in the sand, and then a clean run. It is one of the easiest tracks in the game once you know it, just because there's not really many track hazards. It's just poor driving that puts you into the dirt, but otherwise it's quite a nice track. Just a bit of a cruisy one to use. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And I know I haven't really said this much, but I would love to see some more subs, more subscribers, just because I'm trying to get up to 1,000 so I can make community posts, so I can ask people what they want, and unfortunately you can't do that before you hit 1,000 subs. So if you're still watching at this point and you haven't hit that subscribe button by now, give it a click for me. Help me get up to that point so we can make this more community orientated instead of just me making tracks and reading comments and hoping that I get all the comments.